Yeah.
All right, cool.
All right, so we're starting. Well,
The food is on the way, right?
yeah, it's on the way.
Yeah,
All right.
okay.
I'm excited.
Cool. You know, I might keep some of this fun stuff for fun.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the group chat. I am your host, Alec Vizoso, and I'm joined with my wonderful producer, Zahir. I don't know your last name. I'm so sorry.
I am Zahir Quader.
Zahir. Oh, there
yeah,
you go.
it's okay.
We're still learning. This is no longer the Pakistani Cultural Association.
Yeah, we're just we're learning, and today we're joined by two of our friends here. And what are we going to discuss again, Alec?
We're talking about the World Cup. Listen, I mean, I've been waiting for this day since literally the 90s, so before I was born, but honestly, I'm real worried right now.
Yeah.
But whatever, we got Diego, Ludeña, and Simon Camelo with
Hi.
us right here, both students at the University of Chicago. Say hi, everyone.
Yeah, introduce yourself, boys.
Hello. It's Diego Ludeña. First of all, it's not Ludeña. But no worries, man. I'll forgive you for that. Don't worry about that. I'm originally from Ecuador. I did my undergrad in Canada at Western University. Go Mustangs. And now I'm doing my master's degree here at the University of Chicago, the Harvard School of Public Policy.
Oh.
I'm looking forward to this conversation.
How do you spell Canada?
How do you spell Canada?
D-R-A-K-E. Drake.
And
That was so
who
good.
said that? Why don't you introduce yourself, bro?
My name is Jaime Camelo, or Simon if you are more fluent in the Romance languages. I was born in Bogota, Colombia. I lived there for 3 years, and now I currently reside in Queens, New York. I'm a fourth-year undergrad at the University of Chicago studying philosophy and political science.
Awesome. So, what do you guys think about the World Cup? I know, our great president just did the FIFA Peace Prize, and he's just fulfilling his promises.
I think this is going to be great because people are going to stop calling it soccer when they realize that the U.S. and Australia gets kicked out in the first round for just being bad.
Basically.
Okay,
So-
wait. They're both in Group D. So do you think Turkey and Paraguay are gonna be the two that go through?
I think Paraguay's going to top that group. Well,
Oh! Okay, whoa.
Whoa.
Wait, hot and heavy. So let's go around real quick. Who actually has a stake in this? So I mean, I'm from Miami. But I'm Cuban. So honestly, I don't have much of a stake as the two that are with us now
neither do
today.
you know. No, yeah, me and Diego have a stake.
We have a massive stake.
So
You can go first because you're older.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. I'm actually just 23. I'm not that old. Come on, man.
You're old, bro.
I'm not old.
then you're calling me old too. I'm also 23.
Yeah, you're both
Oh my god.
I'm older than both of you, but still.
That's hilarious. So yeah, I do have a stake in the World Cup because Ecuador qualified second in the Camelo group, and it's low-key, in my opinion, going to be the surprise of this World Cup. I think they're going to go all the way at least until the semifinals, and they're going to finish third.
Wow.
Oh
You
my
can come
God.
back to this podcast in the future and say, "Oh, Diego, you suck ass. You don't know anything."
Ecuador.
Okay.
Or you can say, oh, you even underestimated the team because they ended up winning the whole
Interesting.
thing.
What's your group again? Is it
Check
what
it
is?
It's the one with Germany.
It's Germany, Ecuador, and
Curaçao and Ivory Coast.
Oh, Ivory Coast.
No, Uzbekistan is with us. I think just bring up the...
Let me actually bring out.
It's Germany, Curaçao, Ivory Coast, and Ecuador.
Dale.
All I know.
Ivory Coast is decent. They won AFCON
Yeah, I
2
was
years
about.
ago.
Yeah, no, they're also in the semis. I think right now for this year.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think they're playing either today or they played yesterday. Because I know that Morocco and Senegal are going to the semis for the AFCON.
wait, for context viewers, this is recorded on January 10th. So do fact check.
As
us on
of right
that.
now, Egypt is playing Ivory Coast, and Ivory Coast is getting trashed 3-1. It's minute 55.
Are you
as of
for real
now.
right now?
I'm-
Salah's doing that good.
I'm being serious right now.
Oh my
Fair
god.
enough.
I know
Fair
ball go kick, and that's really cool.
Oh no.
To be fair, Egypt now have Marmouche when 2023 they didn't have him. I think.
That is true. I'll give you that. Oh my god. Wait, that's actually crazy work. Okay, wait. So you are Ecuador. As you say, you were Colombian. You're Colombian. So wait, what's your thoughts on that? Because if you ask me, they're the dark horses of this tournament.
I think we're the dark horses too. But okay, I don't really know if we should call ourselves dark horses because I genuinely think we can actually win this thing, and other people are saying it too. So
That's
I'm not sure
crazy
if we
take.
qualify. So just a response to your Ecuador take. Ecuador is kind of hard to analyze because I think they're a really good team at. They're really good at not losing matches. They're not that good at winning matches. I think that defensive line is great. I think Alindez is probably like the second or third best goalie in South America. Incapia is good, but he doesn't really get that many minutes at Arsenal. Pacho and who's the other center back?
You already said Incapie. In terms of defense, Ecuador is strong because of Caicedo.
Yeah, he's the best
he's
in
a
the world,
midfielder,
yeah.
actually. But then you also have a Stupinian who is now playing for Milan.
For Milan,
and
yeah.
but the strong, let's say, area of the team is that the triangle that Pacho, Incapie, and Caicedo can make and really stop the attack of Ivory Coast and Germany. I'm not even going to mention Curacao. Who knows a player from Curacao? We are
Hey.
looking at.
Nah, Curacao.
Don't
I'm
trust
sorry.
Curacao. Okay, they knocked out Costa Rica basically from this early.
I'm gonna be honest.
No,
I
that's
don't
true,
think
that's true.
any of the teams that are like the unpopular ones that haven't qualified. So any team that's not Turkey, Italy, and I don't know who else off the top of my head. I
You
don't
got
think they're gonna do anything.
You got DR Congo, I
Nope.
think is good.
They're not gonna do
DR
anything.
Congo, Bolivia, Suriname, and New Caledonia.
Oh.
Yeah, no, but Bolivia can only play when it's above like 2,000 meters.
Unfortunately,
Sorry.
Denver is not a stadium in this
Oh.
tournament.
Yeah,
Who's
They
the
got-
top seed? Like, which team is everyone like, oh, they're
So-
going to win?
I think
My money is on with the team I'm rooting for, which is, I guess you can call my second home, España. The ESP, I think they're gonna get their second this tournament.
Good pick.
I say that very objectively. Yes, I do have family in Spain, so if I'm rooting for anyone in this tournament, I would normally root for the U.S., but we're talking about football, so
Yeah.
we'll give them another 10 years before I'm invested in the dynamics of the MLS beyond Inter Miami. But as
he's
far
a
as
quasi-patriot.
no, literally. Hey, and anything else? We got the World Baseball Classic next year too, and I'm all in for for Old Glory. But as far as we're talking about Spain, what I love about this squad that is just so different from every other squad we're talking top seed or dark horse, no importa, is they are essentially a reflection of La Liga in a way that no other country is. That you have a for real homegrown team that is built in the academies of La Masia in Barcelona, which is my allegiance to begin with as well on the European side. Also the Atletico, the Real, and the Bilbao. You name the team, they have it. It is a young team. We're not having a bunch of old retirees. I'm so sorry, Simon.
Average age of 28 is, I think it's 28. It's not bad.
It's not that bad. You guys are regrowing. So I'll give you that. Pero por ejemplo, I mean, I do have I have empathy and sympathy for Brazil, but that is essentially a nursing home of a squad.
Yeah.
Brazil's washed.
It is
Brazil's washed.
a nursing home of a squad, and I unfortunately do pick they are not gonna act in their best interest. They are going to put Richarlison as the number 9 over the developmentals they got over there in the Premier League. So I'm a little worried for their midfield, but
Wait. You think Richarlison starts over Endrick?
yes.
Endrick
I mean-
barely plays so much.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Well, no, he's now at Lyon on loan.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean,
I even missed
I
that.
think Endrick is clear of him, but yeah, because he doesn't play, it's
Yeah.
kind of hard for Ancelotti to make a decision. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you have Spain as winning then.
I have Spain as winning, and they're also just a team I'm personally rooting for.
Yeah.
Also, just looking at their groups right now, Brazil has a rough time. They're gonna make it through. Obviously, the question is, I'm actually hesitant to say they're gonna top Group C. I think Morocco is hot right now. Although their AFCON performance has been a little underwhelming.
I think Morocco is also kind of hard to analyze because they made it far in the last World Cup. They do have good players. I mean, the entire team is 4 years older, and I presume that's mainly who's still playing.
Mm-hmm.
We also have to see how bad this Hakimi injury is. I mean, I don't think it'll be that bad. But yeah, I actually predict. I think the most interesting game from that group is gonna be Scotland, Morocco. I think Scotland has a ton.
Scotland?
Yeah.
Scotland?
Yeah.
Scotland.
Damn, they haven't been in the World Cup in what, 30, 40 years?
I think Italia 90 was the last time they were in a
Damn.
tournament, so that's like 36 years. Yeah.
Is Morocco one of those countries where they get their players recruited to clubs all over the world and stuff?
Morocco's interesting. I would originally say they had what I would consider an Africa curse, where essentially you have some top quality talent from countries like who used to be Morocco, Senegal, Cameroon, and they would be going to these European clubs. They would gain residency or they had citizenship in these European countries, and they would play for the European country. We're talking, the Netherlands, France, that type of gig.
That's what France is known as right now.
No, literally, unfortunately. But Morocco seems like they've kind of like, I don't want to say broken away from that curse. Sort of national pride has regrown in the country that like a lot of these players who play or have lived a long time in France or Spain, they're actually coming back and they're playing for the country of their birth or the country of their parents, of the country of their parents, which is at least for football is not that common nowadays. But it's going to benefit countries like Morocco. It's already benefiting the United States. You already see Kermansky picking the U.S. over Argentina, which,
to like go further?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Whoever said that has no ball knowledge. I'm sorry. I think the U.S. is getting grouped.
No, they're getting grouped. I'm saying like long term.
Oh.
Long term here. I'm talking 10, 15 years in the future.
I still think that's a terrible take.
Really?
I mean, the U.S. is still pay to play, not even pay to like make it really far. Like the average cost, I don't know there's probably a stat, but the average cost per month for a kid to play in like a normal club is like 100, and
you're talking MLS.
No, like I'm saying like in like a city like New York, etc. It's so expensive to just play for a normal club. Not playing for like an MLS Next caliber, which is like the proper academies, it's even more that don't really offer that many scholarships. So it's pretty much just restricted to, at the moment, like affluent players, and that's not really like footy is known as like the poor man's sport.
Yeah, I mean, have y'all's developed your leagues down there in CONMEBOL or?
In CONMEBOL?
Yeah, how is it looking there?
What do you mean by developed?
In the sense that homegrown players don't want to go to Europe.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, the European leagues are always going to be more attractive than the
obviously, but
not only because of the money that they would get, which is like 10 times greater than whatever the best team in England can offer, but also because of the prestige.
Yeah,
it seems to me that you can have 10 national championships in Ecuador, but that doesn't equal ending up second in La Liga one time.
Exactly.
The only two leagues that kind of offer like any sort of package to make you want to stay home because of like the money is Brazil and Mexico.
Mexico, really?
Yeah,
Mexico,
they pay their players really well.
They do?
Yeah. So, okay. Back to Zahir's question as to who I guess I think the favorite is. At the moment, in terms of a team, like the best quality, I think it's Portugal.
Oh.
Portugal?
Yeah.
What do they got that makes you feel like they're going to pull through?
Their midfield is pretty crazy. They have so I'm assuming that their style lineup is going to be along the lines of Vitinha, João Neves, and Bruno Fernandes. Then they have Rafael Leao at the left wing, I think. Right wing, I think Ricardo Moura can probably play. I mean, I also don't know the formation. I'm going to assume that Ronaldo's going to start. They have the best left back row than Nuno Mendes. And they have...
Tata Cancelo.
Cancelo's a right back. Well, he plays both, actually.
Yeah.
It's pretty rare to see.
What do you think they're going to put him in for Portugal?
Cancelo, a right back, yeah.
Right back.
And then their two center backs are Ruben Dias and I don't know who else. And their goal is Diego Costa. So...
You forgot to mention Nelson Semedo, who is now in Fenerbahce.
Right, he was never good.
No, but his father at least if Dalot gets injured or whatnot.
That's good.
That's pretty cool.
I gotta ask one question on that note.
Yeah.
What do you think about that Portugal-Colombia game?
I think we win 3-0.
Oh my God!
I think we win every single game by like at least three or two goals.
Oh my! Okay, wait.
I'm
Don't be
excited.
biased here. Wait.
No,
honest on that one.
Okay.
On God.
I think we're finally at the point where we realize that we have a good team and we can't let stupid arguments get into our heads as to something that can destabilize us, right?
All right.
Because, for example, in 1994, some people had us winning. Pele said we were going to win. Now, there's two factors as to why I think we didn't do well. One, I think our team was a bit overrated because this was 1994, so the jump from where like South American leagues were still competitive, like I think that this one was when the European leagues already like took off and there was like a notable imbalance.
Mm-hmm.
So one, we were a bit overrated, and two, I mean, there was like a ton of politics, like the team being threatened for losing the first game. Like there's been a few documentaries on this, and actually 30 for 30, like the SPN documentary, they actually had an episode on this called The Two Escobars. After they lost the first game, I don't know how, but on the TV of the coach, Pacho Maturana, people were able to hijack like the frequency, and on the TV it showed if you play Paravas Gomez, who was like our number 6, win or lose, like we're gonna kill the entire team. And like the entire, like some of the players from the team had threats because they lost that first game to their families, right? So obviously that doesn't happen now. So
God bless.
so yeah, so right,
We're better now.
so the team, we have a good team now. Richard Rios is crazy. We have Yasser Aspilla as like an up and comer. Gustavo Puerta, Daniel Munoz, who I think is the third or second best right back in the world. Davinson Sanchez. James is always a baller. I don't care. He cannot play for 6 months. When he puts that yellow jersey on, it's yellow fever.
That's it. What's his name?
Oh, dang.
What's his name? Guillermo Ochoa de Mexico. The
Yeah,
goalie.
literally.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Every 4 years, bro.
Yeah.
Him, Lucho Diaz, of course, John Arias. So we realized, okay, we actually have a team of ballers and a good bench. And our group is easy, except for Portugal.
Yeah.
I want to go back to Richard Rios. I feel like this might be a controversial take, but I think that he is enjoying the David Beckham effect.
Okay.
Insofar as he is more attractive than...
Like, he's hotter than he is as good as a player.
Exactly. If he was as good of a player as he is hot, he would probably be one of the best midfielders in the world.
I mean,
give him some time. He just made the move over to Europe, so
Yeah,
there's potential. He was in Palmeiras for a bit.
yeah. So, like, two things. One, he's 25, I think, 24.
4 or 5.
Yeah. So yeah, like a player's prime is at like 28. So I think 3 years in Europe, you'll definitely. I think in 3 years' time, you'll definitely be able to say, okay,
He's Benfica, right?
Yeah.
Benfica,
Right,
yeah.
yeah.
I think by the time he's 28, people will be like, okay, yeah, I think he's a top 5 CDM in the world. 2, I think people have this perception of him as being a number 8 when he's a CDM or a number 6. So if you look at his GAs, like, yeah, it's not high, but if you just look at the game, you see, yo, this guy wins balls pretty effortlessly, can run like 20 yards up, boom, pass the ball, and like a play Meister or not.
Well,
but
we would have to look at the stats. We should look at the stats.
Yeah.
He's played 16 matches,
Mm-hmm.
and like you said,
Yeah.
he's not necessarily a big assister or a goal scorer because he has neither in both of those. And when it comes to Colombia, well,
no, he has
listed-
goals and assists. I mean, it's low, but yeah.
At least in Colombia, he has scored. He scored in the Copa America in 2024. and
He scored-
has assisted goals.
he scored for Benfica as well.
Not in the league.
Yeah, he has. Or I'm not sure if it was league or if it was Champions League, but he has scored.
Oh yeah, he scored and assisted in the Champions
Yeah.
League.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess those are important matches to
Yeah.
scoring assist.
Yeah.
That's valid.
Yeah.
So, do you think what team do you think is going to be the best one, Diego?
Back to the original question.
yeah, back to the
Yes.
original.
I
Yeah.
think Argentina is winning again.
Hmm.
I think Argentina is winning again. If anybody is defeating Ecuador,
It's got to be the
have to be
Argentinians.
Argentina.
Not Senegal?
No, dude.
Yeah.
No, not again, man. Not again. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It was an absolute tragedy that Ecuador lost to Senegal in Qatar.
How did that happen?
Well, I'm still pondering about that question because in principle, Ecuador had the better team by far. And this is not me being a nationalist or anything. I might be, but this is besides the point. I think Ecuador could have gone at least to the quarterfinals in Qatar, and they didn't. And that was very disappointing.
What was the trajectory if they would have made it second?
If they had made
Oh, it was
they
England,
would have-
right?
Yeah, because Senegal played England.
Yeah.
in-
And they got trashed.
yeah.
about this for
Yeah.
days, but
So,
Let's get serious.
logistically, how do you guys think this is going to play out with like all the stuff we're seeing in the country?
oh god,
It's been a nightmare. Okay, actually, so a quick anecdote, and I think it's gonna if anything comes through that affects us, then I think that can actually like change the playing field. The law for Colombia is like any sanctioning on our fans. So I was at the
Copa America
I was
final.
I was at that final.
Oh no!
I was at that final, and the plan for any Colombia game that's like somewhat important, not like a friendly against New Zealand. It's like, okay, you go to the stadium 3 hours before El Parche, you know.
That
you
was
see,
such a disaster. I'm sorry.
yeah, no. It's like the plan is this: you get there earlier, you hang out with the people, then you go in when there's like an hour left until kickoff, right? So I was there, and I did that same plan 3 hours early. There's already like I think that day, CONMEBOL was like, okay, no, there's not gonna be any like basically like tailgates or anything. It's you can only enter the gates of the stadium if you have a ticket. Which that wasn't even enforced either. That wasn't even enforced either. So I get there 3 hours earlier, and it's full, and people are already lining up. So we're like, all right, crap, it's time to line up. I was walking by, and then when the first wave of the people that didn't have tickets swarmed in, I saw them. Like, yeah, they literally just pushed 2 guards out the way. Like 100 people got in, and then they closed the doors for like an hour because they're like, we're gonna try and get every single one of them out. Which I don't think that was rational because they're like hiding.
Oh yeah.
So like obviously, okay, like fast forward, like that whole mess. I don't know if the U.S. is gonna see that and be like, okay, this is what will likely happen again with all these other really passionate nations, or what I think is that I think they should consult with, like, let's say, the leagues, like the people that run security and logistics in South America. And it's like, okay, I think the U.S. should say, well, admit we don't know how to like deal with this. Help us out, and that will smooth things out, and that will like not require any sanctions. Because I'll be honest, it's gonna be a really bad experience if you don't have the authentic people from like these places, and it's just like tourists.
Speaking of authentic people, that's a great transition to talk about the visas.
It's gonna be
Someone's got to bring it up, and I'm gonna be the one to
you
bring it
can't
up.
like ban half the countries of the world.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm grateful enough to say that we're not banning half the countries in the world, but we're banning 2 of them, and that puts heavy restrictions on the third. So, for those who do not know, President Trump has reinstated his travel ban, which includes a couple dozen countries, 3 of which have qualified for the World Cup. 2 of them absolute bans, Iran and Haiti. That breaks my heart for Haiti, especially given it's their first time in 50 years.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a bit, and they're also. If you want to talk about special teams here, if I want to give a most improved or hardest path to the World Cup, it's Haiti. They're the only team here who qualified without playing a single game at home. Their home
Kudos to them.
Kudos to them, literally. And it breaks my heart they don't have a game in Miami, but they got one in Boston and New York, so I hope they show out. At that rate, though, so we got Iran and Haiti, and then a recent restriction on Ivory Coast, Cote d'Ivoire.
Okay.
So
what did they do?
Works for Ecuador.
They existed.
Wait, so are these bans like for like a set time, or is it just until he's like not
until he is out? He is no longer our president.
Okay.
Damn. And I will say, so I mean, the law does include exceptions for athletes, their families. You want to know who it doesn't include it for? Their fans. Yeah. So what do you all think about that? Iran already boycotted / was not going to get the visa for the draw in December. How do you think that's going to affect?
I think with like what we're seeing in Iran right now, I think that's gonna like depending on how that plays out, things are gonna get a little weird. Yeah. Or like, how do you think things are gonna play out with Venezuela now that the dynamic there's changed?
I love Venezuela. I love Venezuelans. Venezuela is not qualified for this World Cup. Listen. I am with Venezuelans until the end, especially with the new hope given what happened a week ago. I think an episode would have already been out about that topic.
Yeah.
It would have already been out on that topic.
Yeah, we'll have a
So
big.
I have a
talk
lot.
about
I have
today.
a lot to say about that.
I will be
Yeah,
there.
as you can tell, I know a lot about Venezuela and a lot about the World Cup.
Yeah,
so.
let's not forget our favorite producer Zahir. He is from Pakistan, a country that has never qualified for the World Cup.
I'm American, so
Yeah, I know, but you got no stake.
I got
in this
no
one, bro.
I got no
You
stake
have
in
zero.
either. Yeah, man, I'm just here to look pretty and.
At least Cuba hit one in like 1930 or something.
Oh yeah.
Okay. The
Yeah.
dinosaur times.
Why do you think my family left the old country? They
The
couldn't
old
make it in the
country.
World Cup. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Fun fact: the U.S. made the semifinals in the first ever World Cup.
That's their best placement. They got third.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And are we gonna do that again? That ain't
No.
happening. No. It will happen soon. I predict within the next 20 years they will be in the semifinals.
No.
I will put money on it right now.
I think that's your most controversial take. So.
That is really a controversial take. Oh my god. I'm hopeful. Like I'm waiting for the day. Genuinely, we're in the football context. I can proudly say I support the United States. That day has not come yet.
Yeah.
Well, we were for a while, but I admire the passion.
Yeah, I admire.
Yeah.
No.
So back to your question, I think you just kind of asked us like our general opinion, right, as to these whole things, right?
I guess like how do you think that's gonna affect morale, particularly with it's like almost like a domino effect with other countries.
Yeah. So I mean, the countries where there's no rationale for like national security, that just shows like prejudice. So I'm already like, let's say if I don't know if Peru, right, and then we get like the next sanctioned complete travel ban. It's like, okay, why? So that's in general, like a monetary sense, tourism declines there. Regardless as to how many people come every year. I think culture is something that should be appreciated by all and to be spread, because that opens your mind. So I think it's irrational from that sense. From a nation where there's like a national security risk, whether it's from ongoing conflict, etc., and you can somewhat root into like a natural problem, that's when there's like a little more leeway. I mean, like in general, it's very hard to get a visa from anywhere in the world. Like
Absolutely,
that's
yeah.
like in Colombia, that's the main reason why it takes a while for people to migrate, because it's hard to get the visa, any type of visa, the 6-month one.
It doesn't matter. Yeah,
it's-
tourist
it's-
work.
it's-
It's a year and a half in Colombia, right?
Oh my.
Yeah.
I think it's like
so.
I think it's the longest for a country. I think it's the longest in the world for a country that has no penalties on it. So like recently we have the Trump administration put a $15,000 bond on a lot of these countries.
Yeah.
To the administration's credits, they did make the visa, the FIFA pass, I think is what they're calling it.
Okay.
The FIFA visa.
Yeah.
The visa.
The FIFA. It's something around those lines, which basically sidesteps that for specifically fans of the World Cup. So I mean, to recognize that like this is not all doom and gloom.
Yeah.
This is not all doom and gloom, but I do think personally, from a morale standpoint, especially with another thing, which again it's January 10th. And our administration has unfortunately executed and disposed of one of our own citizens, Renee Good.
Another episode that will
That's
be
another
interesting.
episode we have not recorded, but do expect a much more serious talk on that one.
Yeah.
Much more thorough commentary.
and less-
Yeah.
And then much less talking about jerseys and group matchups.
Yeah.
But given that, I really am concerned that there's going to be, even though legally there's not going to be obstacles in the way that the media is, I guess, being very pessimistic about this World Cup, and that it has to be moved out of the United States because we are incapable or whatever. I do have a big worry that given the immigration crackdown and given the dynamic pricing of this World Cup, where the minimum ticket is $700 for an average group stage, which is crazy work.
Not even average.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
even below average.
That's below average, and oh my god! So yeah, well, that's a whole nother thing.
Paying $700.
Hey, we'll see Jeff
Capo
Bezos
Verde
and Katy
versus-
Perry hanging out there. That'll be great.
Halftime show? No.
No, but I think for better or for worse, FIFA is really bending over backwards with how they're trying to make the admin a bit more amenable. It is kind of clowny, though.
I feel like they're actually digging themselves into a bigger hole.
Oh.
Actually, kind of like speaking about that, I saw that you pulled up a thing about Egypt.
That's
and
yeah.
What's your Qatar?
Egypt and Iran. Where this is about. Yeah, I actually can I put that on hold for a second?
Yeah, sure.
Because I mean, you did just bring up something really interesting, which is the idea of bending to this administration, Giovanni Infantino, basically doing everything the president wants, including giving a FIFA peace prize. I'm sorry.
It also is like a big problem. How much money does FIFA have where they could just make this stuff up?
You can't make this up. This is truly ridiculous. And the World Cup draw happening in the Trump Kennedy Center.
It's the Trump Center now.
Yeah.
They're getting rid of the Kennedy part.
But in all seriousness, what I loved about football is that I always saw it as purely apolitical, which is why I believe we're able to have such a lighthearted conversation where we're supporting either our home countries or countries of family heritage or whatever country we just generally support, and without really much political / nationalistic stake in it. Yeah. And one of my biggest concerns is that since, leading up to the Russian World Cup in 2018, FIFA has been slowly but surely bending over to authoritarian leaders of all shapes and sizes. We had the World Cup in 2018 after the invasion of Crimea, Qatar in 2022. As much as I'm going to be nostalgic about what happened in that World Cup, we cannot ignore that North Korea literally sent its own prisoners to build the stadiums, dying without any sort of human accountability from human rights institutions and or functions or systems. And now we have 2026, where although you cannot compare Russia and Qatar to the United States in the context of authoritarianism, it is very worrisome that Infantino is graciously bending over to whatever the administration wants, which then brings us to 2034 with Saudi Arabia buying the World Cup. Yeah.
I guess
thoughts.
Because there's the existence of a peace prize. I wonder if he's just accommodating all this to maybe try and change these countries in some sort of way. No. But that's definitely a really far stretch, and I don't think that's the case.
It's giving a candy bar to a toddler to calm him down for a bit.
Yeah.
I don't know what to think about it. I mean, I think my personal opinion is, I feel, obviously, we can have a complete separate discussion on authoritarian regimes that have been authoritarian regimes for a long time. Russia, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, that sort. Mm-hmm. But at least in the context of the United States, I feel like it's a direct reaction to Trump having a very strong distaste, to say the least, for international organizations. He just pulled out of 60-something of them.
Mm-hmm. 66, not
67. 66. Yeah, literally. 66. I think it was 31 of them had to do with human rights and climate and gender equality. We're talking everything from UNESCO to the UN peacekeeping force to
all the stuff that the U.S. is hostile towards other countries, or at least claims to be.
It's quite literally all the things that how would I say this? It's all the things the administration claims was too woke in the United States. Mm-hmm. We're essentially taking our voices away from that abroad, and I feel like Infantino does not want FIFA to be next. So that does concern me, that this politicization of sport, and the politicization specifically of a sport that doesn't really have that big of a footing here, shows me something else is happening behind the scenes, which I think will have a much more devastating effect.
Maybe that was a smart move by Infantino, then, seeing how hostile Trump and the Trump administration has been to international organizations in general. Maybe courting to him through these fancy meetings, and then the Bose prize that he received is a way to keep FIFA very well involved in the American market.
Yeah, I think this is definitely a situation of expect the worst but hope for the best.
Do you think anything about corporatism has to do with this?
Oh,
do you think Infantino really wants the United States, as far as us, the American people, to be involved in football, or even on a political level that he wants Trump to keep the United States, supporting the organization? Or do you think Infantino just wants the corporate money.
There's just a lot. There's a lot of. I think it's
the sponsorship money.
There's a lot of money invested in this, and he does not want to have like a horrible return on investment or things just to go wrong.
But there isn't a lot of money invested in this. All the stadiums were built.
Yeah.
Before the whole gig of this United bid when it first came up under the first Trump administration was that every single stadium in all three countries was already built and at worst needed renovations. Estadio Azteca, ahí in Toronto, they're expending like 10,000 seats to meet the minimum requirement. But outside of that, everything was built. So what investment are we talking about?
So you think
well, I mean,
not like getting the word out, but
then you're making the strong argument that Zahir was proposing, because if we compare the investment that had to take place in Mexico, Canada, and the U.S. to the investment in Qatar and in Brazil, where the governments had to build stadiums that then are left in shambles, basically, without any use, then we can speak about a much greater return on investment in the case of in the upcoming World Cup, precisely because there were less fixed costs involved.
But, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I do have a little bit of pushback on the sense that Brazil and Qatar is not an analogous case. Brazil's a country, obviously, with a culture of football. And as much as I love Brazil, I lived there for a bit, does not really have the economic capacity to host both a World Cup and an Olympics in 2 years. Meanwhile, Qatar was essentially begging for it. They paid themselves to get to the World Cup over. I want to say it was Spain.
They're hosting the one after.
Yeah, I want to say it was Spain that would, like, well, you know what I mean?
They were bidding.
Yeah, I want to say, or was it Japan? It was one of the two.
No, it was Spain, Portugal, and Morocco.
It was Spain and Portugal only, and then Morocco was added after the Qatar World Cup, I think. But the point aside, Qatar has a national interest in that in their own right. Like, they were willing to put the money out, fork the money out in a way that Brazil kind of just did for the sake of culture and, you know, what football means to the country, and not so much as an economic means to, you know, have some sort of political influence in the Middle East. I don't know. What do you think about that?
So you think that in the end, the primary motivation of like the FIFA CEO is the millions in sponsorships and merchandise sales.
The millions in untapped market potential.
Yeah, this is like a long-term investment, I see it as.
Definitely a money thing, though.
Like, it's not just, all right, the World Cup and that's it. This is like the big, you know, exposure, the entrance to like the average American kid or family. So like, there's not just American football, there's real football. So it's like, oh, like this is interesting. So like this, I think Infantino and Trump are gonna try they're gonna use a ton of scrutiny to make sure that this thing goes smoothly.
Yeah.
So main thing here is like money. I think, in my opinion.
Yeah. Anyway,
nice.
Yeah, there's a lot to think about there. Do you guys got any final thoughts before we close out?
We can talk real quick about that Iran-Egypt thing.
Yeah.
Sure,
Though, on a very quick note, I do want to give a little bit of hope for, you know, as far as the United States is concerned. And yeah, I do agree with you, Simon, in that respect that, you know, after we hosted the World Cup in, what was it, 94?
94, yeah.
Was it 94? Soon after, not even 2-3 years later, the MLS was established precisely because of the demand the World Cup brought to for American football. And we'll put it like this: for football in America. But yeah, I mean, if I will give the president Infantino and all that credit on one big thing, is that I am hopeful that, you know, this kind of does another rebirth of sorts. There's a very interesting time where city and state governments are actively investing in football clubs for the MLS, and actually getting involved in the loan markets with respect to South America and Europe. So, I mean, I'm not saying we're going to become South America or Europe, but I would love a Mexican-style developed league to at least take foot in the U.S., which I think is actually going to happen in the next couple years. So, you know, big things coming for U.S. football.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can call American football rugby sometime soon. But
American rugby. Oh, yeah.
American rugby. That's
no,
good.
literally. Okay, now back to Egypt and Iran for the last topic. It's happening in Seattle. It's a group stage match, and it was not planned to be between Iran and Egypt. That's just how the group slots happened. And listen, I I don't think the president or the administration has made a direct claim or position on this. Though I'll tell you what my position is. If we had to respect Qatar's laws that forbid alcohol consumption in stadiums, we literally had the Ecuatorianos screaming "La queremos cerveza" for the entire group stage.
That is true. That was me, actually.
Yeah. If we had if we had to deal with that, and LGBTQ football fans had to come into Qatar and respect the local customs, quote unquote, I see no problem with them having to do the same here.
Yeah.
I'm hoping the president keeps it as such.
It's during Seattle Pride, right?
Yeah, that specific game, Lummis Field. So the one in Seattle is using it as essentially a pride display, which is I'm loving it.
So yeah, if let's say the admin kind of use that as I think in order to combat sort of this backlash from these nations as to the city that we're going to be at, stuff's going on that we don't agree with, sort of we don't want to play there. I think if Trump were to use that as another sort of immigration justification, I think that was actually completely fair.
I wouldn't say an immigration justification per se, but I would definitely say
the travel ban, yeah.
For the travel, I would definitely. I would agree with that.
Because that's inherently risky. If you're, essentially every team is forced to play where they got. So there's I don't see that game changing. And it's okay, let's say the Egyptian and what's the other team?
Iran.
Yeah, their fans could easily just decide to protest in some way, but I don't know, causing a ruckus, breaking stuff, and it's okay, well, if you're gonna do that, then I might as well just not let you in just for this thing. So I'm curious if you guys agree with me in that case.
I think it's more the governments than the fans that probably have the LGBT issues. I feel like the fans probably are just we don't care, we want to watch soccer.
Yeah, especially the ones
Especially
that can afford to come all the way from Egypt or
I can afford.
Truly, because
I can barely afford to go from my house to the Hard Rock at this rate with these prices.
If it's the fans from Iran and Egypt that are coming all the way from their countries to America, those are also the types of people who are the most tolerant to LGBT people. So we should not expect any large confrontation between the fans that are coming to America and the protesters or law enforcement, merely because the people who would be very
hardline,
very much against LGBT rights, they're not going to be in America because they can't afford it.
I think also if you are pretty militant like that, you probably would have been banned already or something.
Yeah, I will say one thing that does concern me, as far in the context of global accessibility of the sport. So for a lot of these more actually authoritarian regimes, Iran, textbook definition, Egypt in many respects. When we talk about media censorship, there's a history of national governments of all types banning and or restricting FIFA broadcasting in their home countries. I think the most famous case is North Korea and South Africa when they tied Brazil. So the Kim regime was we're gonna broadcast the Portugal game, and they got wiped. Well deserved.
They portray that tournament as North Korea winning the entire thing.
You want to know what's the irony of all of it is that North Korea is actually, at least in the youth dimension, is a very strong team. They just won the U17 World Cup, I believe. Women's World Cup, was it?
Yeah.
And it was in Chile, I want to say. It was earlier this year. So they're no joke, and they could be a very good team if they opened up and let their players play abroad. But that's a whole other story. But what does concern me is if Egypt or specifically Iran in this case would be where they're spreading this harmful ideology to either the religion or the government and or both, and for that reason we are not going to broadcast this game. What does that do for the people at home?
That's just
that's
going to trigger another protest.
Probably. We don't know how this is going to play out. There's a lot going on in Iran right now. So maybe this won't be an issue by June. So
That's being
by
optimistic.
June,
no,
maybe.
That's
but
being
they'll have bigger
optimistic.
problems. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. Thanks
Maybe
for.
there's not gonna be a Shah in June.
I don't know, man.
Our American Canadian Shaw.
Yeah, let's.
There's
I
gonna
know,
be a
that's
Shah.
not. Listen,
Diego-
I want
Supreme
him.
leader.
Diego, why don't you come on for the Iran episode? And
Oh,
we can have
yeah.
a whole conversation about this. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us, guys. Do you got any shout outs or anything else you want to say before we sign off?
Ooh, I don't know if I want to say. It's not a shout out per se, but I'm gonna stand my ground on this. I hope within the next 10 to 15 years we're gonna be sitting at this table or our family at tables and seriously talking about the United States being contenders for the semifinals. Just throwing that out there.
Diego, Simon, you got anything?
Shout out to the Ecuadorian national team. I'm sure they're not gonna disappoint me, and if they do, then they should not go back to Ecuador.
Shout out to Richard Rios. He's I copied my haircut after him.
Are you
and
for
it's-
real?
Yeah, it's
I love
done
that.
wonders for me. And he's also just a baller, so
He's so good.
it's gonna be great when he cooks that Portuguese midfield and we win 3-0 in Miami.
Get me tickets, bro.
Yeah.
And then after we go to Hialeah or
Si tu pasa por mi casa.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm glad that we could have our friends here to talk about some good old soccer.
Football.
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 Yeah. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time for when we
Away.
talk about probably something either more fun or more depressing, depending on when you're